Pain relief. Pain relief comes in the form of narcotics, and this will consist of certain drugs such as morphine, heroin, methadone, and ketamine. Some of these drugs are used safely in hospitals, such as morphine. However, some of the drugs listed are bad for the person and can cause serious unhealthy side effects and addiction, such as heroin. These narcotics allow the person to get on a high so they feel positive, so it can act as a happy drug as well. This is also known as euphoria, which means that it allows a mental state of excitement or happiness. Therefore, it can get the person prepared for something and allow them to go into performance with a good, healthy mental state. Furthermore, the narcotics allow the person to be relieved from the likes of fear and anxiety. This is good as it helps the person with apprehension before performance and allows the person to perform certain moves with full confidence. Effect on sport performance. Narcotics aid with sporting performance as it can put the performer on a high. This will allow the player to perform at his best due to the fact that they are doing it with a smile on their face. This encourages good performance as they are enjoying the moment instead of being unhappy and playing for the sake of it. In addition, narcotics also allow the player to release the factors of fear and anxiety. This is good for the player as they can go out and perform again with more confidence and desire. This is positive again because, as an example, if a player is in a cup final and they use a narcotic, it allows them to get rid of the anxiety they would obtain before the game starts, as they would be nervous beforehand. This will allow them to go out on the pitch and play with full desire without apprehension, causing overall better looking performance. Consequently, the narcotic as well as acts as a euphoria, but acts as a pain relief and physical demand. This means that, for example, a footballer, if they use the narcotic before a game, it means that if they have a slight pain in an area like a hamstring and it feels uncomfortable, it means that the pain will be eliminated for the time being, which further will enhance the mental state of the player as the pain has been relieved, and the physical side as they can perform movements such as sprinting with full capability. Side effect. A side effect is, in addition, this is how a side effect is an addiction. This is harmful as it will mean that the player may get physically drawn to having a pain relief, and over the long term will give a very big risk to the person's well-being. It can allow the performer to suffer with slow breathing as well, which can cause lactic acid to build up in the muscles quicker due to lack of oxygen. Taking more and more will allow the mental state of the player to go downhill as well, because it can put them in an illusion of being unable to feel pain, which can cause the player to do stupid things and cause a serious injury, which will mean that the player will mentally and physically plunder due to them being unable to play for months as they thought that they were untouchable. Positives. It acts as a euphoria, relieves fear and anxiety, and prevents pain. So, euphoria acts as a positive due to the fact that it puts the person in a good well-being before anything and can allow them to have a better day as they are feeling positive about themselves. This also aids performance because it allows them to play with a positive mindset, allowing them to perform traits of the game such as passing better usual if they were feeling low when performing. Relief of anxiety also helps because it allows the person to perform better in certain situations due to lack of fear. For example, if you were asked to play for a higher level of football but you were nervous, taking the narcotics will take this anxiety and nervousness to play away and give you to the full confidence you need to play optimally and prove that other players you deserve to play at that level. Finally, it can prevent the pain. This allows the person to get on with anything they have to do without feeling any pain at all. This can be when performing certain lifestyle routines or when it comes to performance as well. This is because it can make certain things easier to do and can allow the player to play with a full capability as they aren't suffering with certain sharp pains. Negatives: addiction, Superman effect, and lack of coordination. Addiction is bad for the person as it means that they can get mentally attracted to the drug, causing an urge to have it all the time. This is as bad as it can have serious mental problems, as it will put them in a state of bad well-being, causing them to do uncharacter-like things. This can lead to injury of certain traits, even worse due to addiction to narcotics. The Superman effect is good in some cases, but in this case negative, because it can cause the person to decide to do uncharacter-like things, such as going to make a bad tackle in rugby and going in for a situation that they won't win because they can't feel the pain. This can seriously give the player some bad injuries which can prevent them from playing sport the same way, such as broken legs or torn ligaments because of the Superman effect, and the invincibility the players feel mentally. Finally, poor coordination will have a negative impact on their daily lives as they may start misplacing and dropping things more often. They won't be able to avoid certain objects. Also in performance, it can cause the player to have negative play style and they are uncoordinated it means that they may misplace passes and tackles, which could give the other player a nasty injury or injure yourself from being uncoordinated.
Finally, stimulants. Many types of stimulants, including there are many types of stimulants, including cocaine and amphetamines. They directly affect the central nervous system and work by speeding up parts of the brain and body. They are more effective when snorted or injected as opposed to taken in pill form. The purpose of these is to reduce fatigue, tiredness, increase competitiveness, aggression, and alertness. It is beneficial in sports requiring a lot of power, energy, and alertness, like MMA or boxing, for example. They stimulate the sympathetic nervous system, dilating the blood vessels, enabling more oxygen to pass through. This will increase the blood supply to the muscle, causing the reduce in muscle fatigue, and this will improve their performances in later stages of the game. There are side effects, however, as it can cause overexertion, heat stroke, cardiac failure, increased blood pressure, and body temperature. It also can increase aggression and addiction. Of course, there are positives and negatives to stimulants. Positives are that it's effective in increasing performance. This is because it works as a sympathetic nervous system by increasing the amount of blood and oxygen going to the working bodies as well as nutrients. It allows the muscles to work harder and contract harder as well, overall improving the performance. It could also increase confidence and motivation. As a stimulant, it speeds up the brain and body, and it can give you a high, which will increase your mood, your confidence, and coming into performances, as a footballer, for example, if you are confident, you would have more confidence in taking on the opponents. It also can mask pain due to adrenaline. Adrenaline is good. Of course, the masking of pain can be very positive, especially during sports such as rugby or MMA. As instead of focusing on the pain, you can still focus on your overall performance. For example, a boxer, if they don't feel the pain, they won't have to keep blocking that area. For example, if a boxer got hit in the stomach and they felt it, they would always instinctively block their body and not block their face, which will leave them more open to shots to the face. And of course, punch to the face can increase chances of being knocked out. But with the adrenaline masking the pain, the boxer won't be focused on that and will be able to use their technique and use their technique efficiently. There are many side effects, such as addiction. Of course, things like cocaine can be very addictive, and it can control your life. There have been many examples of athletes being addicted to cocaine, especially fighters such as John Jones, who's an MMA fighter. He has been addicted to cocaine and he's currently going through rehab. Of course, it has stopped him from taking part of the UFC due to his addiction, which is very negative. It can also cause over-arousal. So in sports such as football or rugby, it can increase the chances of high tackles or two-legged challenges, which will send the player off, negatively affecting their game and also the team. As if the team are a man down, there will be more overlaps, further increasing the chances for the opponents to win. And it is also very easy to detect through tests. Once again, if I bring up John Jones, the reason why he was sent to rehab is because he had tests to see if there are any drugs in his system. The UFC did find some, and he was sent to rehab. He was also fined. And he was banned from the UFC for quite a while, which means that he was out of the fighting game. And of course, this will have some ring rust, which would further decrease his performances.